Hi, I'm Al Roberts,
I am Mona Roberts.
and we're back here with another video reference marriage. And all of this is rooted out of a book that we wrote called Ordeal to Ideal. Today we're going to be talking about discretionary money. Husband, wife makes money. Hopefully at their bills, there's money left over. The question is, what do you do with that extra money? Do I get to go out and buy some new golf clubs, or does Mona get to take a weekend trip with her girls? What do you do with the extra money left over?
Yeah, I think you can do both, right? It depends on your plan. What's the plan for your money? And I always say how Al and I have gotten to this point is we've always had a plan for our money. Every year, we start the year off with a vision board. What are we doing this year? Where are we allocating our money after our bills are paid? And so it's important to me that I have extra funds to get my hair done, to get my lashes done, get my nails done. However, first things first. Are the bills paid? Do we have an emergency fund, right? Do we have a savings? Then let's look at that discretionary income, right? And so if we have money left over for me to stay looking cute and for Al to go play golf or buy another gun, then let's do it. But there are seasons when we don't have extra, right? And when we don't have extra, it may decrease our discretionary income.
I don't think there's ever extra money.
Right.
I like the term, some people say spending money, and I use that term sometime, but I really like to say, and I want you to think about this and adopt this concept. I like to think we deploy our money, just like the military deploys soldiers where they're needed. We like to deploy our money, put it where it's going to work and serve us best.
Right.
So when we're setting a budget, when we're planning the year, the quarter, whatever the case may be, whether it's business or personally related, we want to deploy our money where it's going to best serve us. Now, some of those items, the vacations, the getaways, the golf trips, things like that, that's actually necessary. We all need some entertainment.
Absolutely.
There's some, things that we need to satisfy, our inner, desires, our burning things, like, that trip to Costa Rica. So those things need to be taken care of, but they need to be prioritized
Right.
in a certain way. That does not, a trip to Costa Rica or, one of my new guns, I'm a gun collector, does not take priority over paying bills or investments. If we have an investment plan, we have to focus on that first, and then any funds that are available after that, then it's discretionary, and we can maybe find some entertainment or, a new suit, some new shoes. That's how that has to be looked at. But as Mona suggested, the first thing we all need to do is to always have a plan for our money, a plan to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So, right now when we're, doing this video, it's the beginning of the year, it's January. And so devising a plan for the year, where do you intend to be at the end of this year? Financially, spiritually, emotionally, all of those things need to be talked about so that you're on one page. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. And I think a goal should be put in place of we're not just living to work and work to pay bills, right? So we do want some fun, some relaxation. I just came from Costa Rica with some girlfriends, an amazing self-care retreat, right? It was necessary for me. And I've been going for the past 6 years to a retreat in January. So, however,
Hey,
throughout.
give a shout out to Dr. Tony.
Shout out to Dr. Tony. And yes, Dr. Antoinette Alvarado. She's the host and visionary of the Harmonize Your Life Self-Care Retreat. Just an amazing, amazing retreat that has grown over a period of time. And again, I started going 6 years ago. And so it's already allocated in my budget. Now, throughout the year, however, I'm not at Starbucks every day anymore, right? I'm making coffee at home. So I've made some tweaks throughout the year so that I can have discretionary income to do some of the things I desire to do, because I don't want to live to work and work to pay bills, right? And so I want to take part in these things in life that are fun. I mean, going to Costa Rica with some girlfriends, right? It was a retreat, but it was full of fun and laughter and girlfriend time. And so that's so much worth spending money unnecessarily and wastefully throughout the year.
So let me ask you a question. So if you focus on taking some of your discretionary funds and deploy it in areas that can possibly make you money,
Yeah.
does that mean if you're having money generated or made in other areas, it affords you the opportunity to do some of the things you want to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It does and will. And so again, throughout the year, I've cut back on some areas where I can place money aside for travel. That's one of my goals in life. I want to travel every continent. And right now, I think I've hit 4 of the 7 continents. And this year, we're going to hit 2 more. And so I'm just excited. And so that money is my discretionary income, or, you know, those funds. But I'm giving up some things, right? So I think it's all worth it. So back to your question of the discretionary money and how should that operate?
Okay, so part of that conversation at the beginning of the year, you know, or any point in the year when you're planning how the money's going to go, you know, deciding that you're going to stick some of that money, some of that discretionary, some of that extra, I don't believe in extra, but some of that money that doesn't go towards bills and not going to your 401k, deciding that you're going to put some of that into, you know, some income creating vehicles. You know, that's one of the things that we like to do, or, you know, buying a piece of property or rental property, or growing our business, investing in our business so that it generates additional money to fund some of those activities we want to do. So that's one of the things that you need to think about. And we often, you know, coach people on that, you know, how to deploy your money so it best serves your family and your desires. So is there anything else you want to add to that, you know, discretionary money?
Yes. Okay, so first things first, you have to be able to pay your bills. I hope you have a budget. You know where your money is being deployed, as Al would say, right? You have an emergency fund. You have savings.
Really quickly, what's an emergency fund?
An emergency fund is funds to cover at least 1 month's emergency. For an example, if your car breaks down, which it will, you get a flat tire, there's going to be something that happens that you should be able to pull funds from a bank account that does not include you putting it on a credit card, or you having to go into your 401k, or worse, you having to borrow it. You should have at least $1,000 set aside somewhere that you can utilize in case an emergency happens.
And that's based on your lifestyle. You know,
Based on your lifestyle.
$1,000, if your monthly expenses is $3,000, yeah, you should have $1,000 saved. But if your monthly expenses is $8,000 or $9,000, which is possible if you're making the money, if you're $200,000 income household, that, you know, that emergency fund should probably be 3 to 6 months of your earnings, or your bills rather.
Yeah, for sure. I facilitated a session on financial peace at the self-care retreat. And one of the things I encourage the ladies that attended my session is, if you don't have an emergency fund, maybe hold off from going to the self-care retreat next year, right? Because first things first, we have to get our foundation in order, right? And we're going to need that emergency fund, and we're going to need some savings, and then let's go travel, right? But first things first. So that discretionary income comes after the budget, after the emergency fund, and after some savings. So,
Right.
yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Let's work on spending wisely throughout the year so that we can travel, or so that you can shop, to do whatever you want to do. but stewardship comes first.
Stewardship. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, we hope that you will join us on future videos or some of our past videos.
Yes.
So peace, and we'll see you next time.